The MOS of a 13 Fox in the United States Army is a Joint Fire Support Specialist. Now you may also hear this job referred to as a FIST or a FISTer as well. It's just kind of another term that is used for this MOS in the United States Army. Now before we dive into this brief summary of the MOS, make sure you subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so that you can join the notification platoon and get alerted as soon as a new video goes live. So let's talk about some of the job duties of a 13 Fox United States Army. Those are going to include things like operation of communication systems, encoding and decoding messages, coordinated target locations, and much more. This MOS is available for active duty and National Guard, but it is not available for reserves. So in order for an individual to qualify for this MOS in the United States Army, they are going to have to graduate high school with a high school diploma or get a GED, as well as take the ASVAB. Now they are going to have to pass the ASVAB, but also receive at least a 96 in the field artillery section of the ASVAB. The field artillery section is made up of 3 main components to make up that score. So that score is going to come from arithmetic reasoning, mathematics knowledge, and mechanical comprehension. So the training for this MOS is going to include the normal 10 weeks of basic training, and then from there a soldier will go on to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for AIT. Now, as far as the length of AIT, I'm getting a little bit of miscommunication here because the GoArmy.com website, the official website for the United States Army recruiting and all that kind of stuff, they say it's 6 weeks, but I'm seeing other places that are saying it's 8 weeks, and even another location that's saying that it recently changed to 10 weeks. So somewhere's in between there. If you recently graduated from AIT as a 13 Fox, maybe leave a comment down below as to how long AIT was, or if you're about to maybe join as this MOS, maybe let us know what your contract says it supposedly is, because a little bit of miscommunication. Get used to it if you're joining the Army. So additionally, this MOS is going to require you to pass a background check so you can obtain a security clearance, as it is required for this MOS. Now, often individuals in this job are going to be attached with like striker units, with infantry units. They're going to be kind of embedded with those type of units. They're going to be the individuals that are sometimes doing the call for fire missions. They're using things like laser rangefinders to range the targets, to give an exact grid to that target, or simply just operating the radio or other communication devices to be able to call back to those artillery assets to call in that fire mission. Often that is still done by like 11 Bravos and 19 Deltas and all that kind of MOSs, but this is more of a dedicated MOS for, kind of dealing with those artillery assets to be able to do fire missions, to be able to, coordinate for target reference points and other targetry assets, and as well as kind of encoding and decoding messages that kind of involved with this artillery assets, as a 13 Fox is a part of the artillery kind of branch of the military, and they are going to be doing a lot of artillery style missions, not specifically the ones operating the guns or anything, but more of the behind the scenes, or not even really necessarily behind the scenes, but more of the person that is kind of like giving the command for the fire or preparing the fire mission, whereas there is a different MOS that is actually operating the guns to execute the fire mission. Now, because this MOS, their main job is really kind of dealt with in a deployment or in a training environment. When you're not doing training, you're just back in garrison, working on base, there's probably not a large job for you. It's probably going to involve a lot of things in the motor pool, as these individuals will probably still have vehicles they have to maintain, equipment they have to maintain, and then just additional training. So somewhat kind of like my explanation of like 11 Bravos, where you're just doing a lot of crummy details or a lot of training, but these individuals would probably still have a lot of equipment they have to maintain. So that equipment could kind of tie up some of their time when they're not busy, actually doing their job as a 13 Fox. So they're going to be probably mainly focused on, maintaining their equipment as well as doing training, but probably still have some of those, crummy taskings that they have to do as well. Now, as far as jobs outside of the military in the civilian world, there isn't civilian jobs that are going to directly relate to this MOS of being a fire support specialist in the civilian world, but these individuals do work with some really high-tech equipment, and that experience and knowledge they gain from working with that equipment sometimes is going to translate over to other kind of aspects. I've heard some individuals say that some of the equipment they work with does work kind of very similar to like, say, surveying for like construction or other kind of, technical fields. So they're going to be able to have that knowledge from those equipment they use, like the laser rangefinder and everything, to possibly work with other equipment, kind of similar maybe in other fields of work, maybe even as a civilian job working with the military to fix things like laser rangefinders or other kind of training for 13 Fox type of training. So they're are gonna have that. But as I've said with a lot of other MOSs similar to this, they're still going to receive a lot of great experience from the military, and a lot of employers like that military background. Even if they want to kind of switch to a completely different job field, that military experience is still going to give them a good advantage. So if I have any viewers watching out there that are veteran 13 Foxes or maybe even current 13 Foxes, leave some of your experiences down below in the comment section. Tell me what you liked about the MOS, what you didn't like about the MOS, and maybe even some tips for those individuals that are looking to possibly go into this MOS. If you have an MOS that you're interested in, make sure you leave it down in the comments down below, as I do tend to look to the comment section to get inspiration for the next MOS Monday episode. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you show some love, hit the thumbs up button, check out some of these recommended ones as well as probably the playlist before you try recommending an MOS that maybe I've already covered. I'm ThatChrisChaos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.